How's it going, you guys? Pokemaster Kenny from Orange Dragon Gaming here, and today we're going to be showing off yet again another off-the-wall expanded deck. Now, I bet a bunch of you are like, Kenny, how crazy can you get? You played Pyro and expanded. You played Amazing Rare Box. To those who know me, who I really innovated the whole version of the deck, posted it online, and then people started building it from there and showing it off. You play all these off the wall decks. How off the wall can you get today? Well, I'll answer that with a simple answer Gengar. Let's get into the deck. So, as you can see here, this is a little weird. The idea behind the deck was when I originally made the deck was, well, get damage on the board, knock things out. Now, as you know, Gengar Creepshow has an attack for a Psychic and a Colorless, where if your opponent's active Pokemon has 3 or more damage counters, it is instantly knocked out. So I bet you're wondering, how could a Stage 2 be viable and expanded, or how could a Stage 2 be good and expanded, Kenny? It doesn't make any sense. Well, the answer is within the Ghastly, actually. This Ghastly from Unbroken Bonds has an ability called Swelling Spite. When this Pokemon is knocked out, so it doesn't specify by attacks, it's knocked out in general, you search your deck for 2 Haunters and you put them onto your bench. So turn 1, if you get donked by like a Zigzagoon or even a Fast Raid deck, or even if somebody just linear attacks you, you're going to search your deck for 2 Haunters. And then next turn, drop 2 Gengars down. Easy enough. You're able to get turn two Gengars after they knock you out if you go second. If you go first, you can play down. Well, that's what I'm saying, not by going second. If you get knocked out by going first, you search it up for 2 Haunters and you drop down the Gengar, drop an energy. So I bet you're wondering how you get the 30 damage on there. We do play 2 Weezings. I debated on actually raising the count to 3 Weezings so I have more out, so I don't rely a lot on Rescue Stretch in order to get the damage out. But another way that you can get it out is with Mew. If you stick up Mew in the active and just use Psy Power and spread all over the place, it doesn't matter how behind you're going to get by just sticking up the Mew and just wasting a bunch of turns to try and get the damage out. If you Roxy once and then Mew, or even if you slam down a spell tag on the Ghastly, you're set. Every bit of damage is going to go on that board. Because if you slam down a spell tag onto a Ghastly after it gets knocked out, that's 30 on the active, 10 on something else. A Haunter is going to hit the board, and then you're going to evolve into a Gengar, slam down energy, boom. Knockout immediately. Roxy will help that damage along with it, because the Roxy will be able to discard the Weezing, 20 damage everywhere if you discard 2, 10 damage everywhere if you discard 1. So that's completely fine. And then you play 2 Executes just because there's so many discarding cards in this deck, so many ways that you could discard 2 cards in order to search the deck for as many as you want, and anything you really want. 1 Crobat, 1 Lele. One thing that I will consider is a second Mew, but that's about it. And as you see, there is a Gengar from... I don't actually know the set of this. Is this on Broken Bonds as well? Yep. It has Shadow Pain. Shadow Pain is when you evolve into it, you put 6 damage counters on your opponent's EX and GX Pokemon in any way you like. That's kind of nutty. If you are able to get 2 Ghastlys in play, the Ghastly gets knocked out, you're able to evolve into 2 Gengars, one of those Shadow Pain one, and then you evolve into the other one, you're able to drop 3 on one of their GX or EX, and then 3 on the other one, and then next turn you could drop down again another Gengar, or just whatever you want. You do play a single rare candy just because the deck is fast enough with Haunters hitting the board turn 1, turn 2 due to Ghastly's ability, but you still want that one of rare candy in case you're in that scenario where, oh shoot, I need to get a Gengar out now, but all I have is a bench Ghastly and I don't have access to a Haunter, or I can't wait. Well, you have that one rare candy. It can turn into 2 because you do play the A-Spec Dowsing Machine. So the reason why I play 3 Ghastly over 4 was actually space. I wanted to add a 4th spell tag because spell tag was just extremely crucial when I was testing. I just had nothing else to drop, so I have been testing 3 Ghastly. 3 Ghastly has been working well. The one problem with this deck is, if you get Silent Labbed and you have a lone Ghastly, you lose. As does a lot of decks where if you get Silent Lab and you don't have another Pokemon, you do lose. But if they don't have Silent Lab in play, you're good to go. A lot of decks don't play Silent Lab. It's almost exclusively Aggro and Ultra Necro. Both are... Ultra Necro is a really, really hard matchup, but if Aggro is really easy. Because you're not item reliant in order to get out the Gengars, you can just slowly start getting them out. Plus, another way to get the damage counters on the board, I completely forgot, was Haunter's Attack and Gengar's Attack. Both of them have Sinister Fog for a single Psychic, which poisons the active but does 10 to everything else on your opponent's bench. So if you go Roxy Weezing, Sinister Fog with a Haunter, that's 30 on everything minus the active, but the active does take 10 due to poison. So that is extremely good in order to get all the damage counters out. You also play one Pokemon Ranger because it removes effective ADP, it removes effective Vikavolt, removes effective Noivern, like... Everything gets removed. It's a really good card. You need to play it. One Research, one Guzma Hala, because you get to grab your D-Valley, Spell Tag, and Horror Psychic Energy in one N. I kind of stole the supporter line from Roxy Chomp because this deck is like a Stage 2 Roxy Chomp, except you knock them out in one hit and you're not relying on like Muscle Bands and a bunch of Zigzagoon Pings, which is how I approached this deck originally, was a bunch of Zigzagoon Pings and Scoop Up Nets, but I found this way a little more consistent. You do play 4 Dimension Valley, because why wouldn't you play 4 Dimension Valley? It's the best card in this deck, and that's what makes this deck actually work and function. For Mysterious Treasure, it grabs everything but the Execute and the Crobat in the deck. For Quick Ball, so it makes up for it, or you can just grab anything you really want. For Spell Tag, which I should have explained a little bit if you are a little newer to the format. Spell Tag is an older tool card where if one of your Psychic Pokemon the card is attached to is knocked out by attacks, you get to put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like, which is really, really good in order to set up the Gengar attack, because if you put 10 on the active and then you're able to Roxy next turn, or if you're able to just put 30 on the active, 10 of something else, you're able to set it up anyways, which is very, very, very good. You also play 4 Turner's Mail for consistency. You play 3 VS Seekers. You do play the Dowsing Machine, like I was saying, because there's going to be resources that you're going to need to pull out of the discard pile later along in the game, because you don't really need Computer Search, because Computer Search does accelerate your game state a little faster. But you need to be a little more conservative and realize that a lot of your cards, like Spell Tag, like Dimension Valley after a Swell hits or a second Blower, you're going to need cards like those in order to come back in case you do research them, or in case you had to discard them with like a Guzma Hala or even Mysterious Treasure Quick Ball. Even if you need it in a crucial spot, you're able to get it. 1 Rare Candy, I kind of already explained that, if you're in a weird scenario. 2 Rescue Stretcher, you're able to grab your Weezings back so you can continuously spam them, and you're able to grab all your Haunters, Gengars, etc. And then I play 4 Horror Psychic Energies and 3 Psychics. I haven't found an issue with hitting energies with just playing the 4 and 3, because Guzma and Hala does grab your Horror Psychic Energy and the D-Valley all in once. The one hindrance of this deck, like I said, is a turn 1 Silent Lab and your Ghastly getting knocked out. Garbodor's also a bit of an issue, but that's the main reason why you play Field Blower. If I had to guess, just because it's a Stage 2, it could kind of affect it because it may clunk, but so far the deck has performed extremely, extremely well and expanded on the ladder. I will be playing it for a future expanded event coming up in the next week in order to prove its worth and put my money where my mouth is. But yeah, the deck is extremely consistent in my opinion, and it looks like it could be a top contender as like a Tier 3 deck, Tier 2 deck, if it really wanted to be. Like, all you gotta do is put your mind to it and just, squint really hard, creep show for game. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and like for more content. If you want to see other deck profiles for Expanded, please drop it in the comment section below, and I'll get right to it. See you guys later.